Welcome to the Profits in Pajamas podcast. I'm Danielle D, or Coach Danni D, and I help women to create luxury brands by creating processes and tightening their branding. This is where we talk about how to build your business in a way that allows you to work with ease and enjoy your life. My happy space is spending as much time as humanly possible in my pajamas. And I want to help others to find their happy space while still running profitable businesses. So get comfortable and let's dig in. Hello and welcome to the Profits in Pajamas podcast. I am your host, Coach Danny D, and I am here always helping women, professionals, entrepreneurs to find their place of work life harmony, find that place where they are fulfilled in walking and living in their purpose, and, just living a life that includes joy. So, this is our first episode of the new year. So, happy new year. Welcome back if you're a previous listener. Welcome if this is your first time listening. I invite you to go back and binge listen to past episodes and get all the jewels and gems that are there. So, New Year. So, New Year is always an interesting one for me because, New Year, renewal, and all of those things are absolutely great that, we have that kind of opportunity to say, hey, I'm starting over, or I am, renewing my commitment to my goals, whatever it is, right? And we get into that new year, new me, phase. And I guess one of the things that I'm going to invite you to do during this time period is pick a thing. And the reason why I'm saying that, the reason why I say pick a thing is, typically the new year comes around and we get so engrossed in the idea of the new year and the fresh start. And I'm about to do all of these things. And we throw all these things at the wall that we're going to do. Like, we're just going to all of a sudden become like the best of everything. And oftentimes we don't tend to make it past, not even close to Valentine's Day, right? We, fall off because we put ourselves in a position where it's not that we can't do all those things, it's not that we can't make all those changes, but we're trying to do too much at one time to where we're not fully focusing on each thing in the way that we need to for it to be successful. So pick a thing, pick a thing. Even within a thing, even like let's say, you decide that your thing is going to be, weight loss or health, better health, right? Let's say that better health. If that's what you decide your thing is, even in that, most people, most studies have shown is that if you pick a part of that thing and become consistent in that part, then add another and add another and add another as you go, you're more likely to be successful and you're more likely to maintain it. As opposed to if you set this really high standard and you're focused on perfection, and if you miss the mark, you start to slowly quit. So pick a thing. Pick a thing and focus on that thing and start to allow yourself to see the progress, the success that comes along with that thing, and do the things that's going to help you with that thing. And that applies to your personal life, that applies to your business. even if you reflect back, like I can reflect back over the last year, I have been, in transition between things, right? But one thing that I can say that I've been, completely consistent in, or I'm not gonna say completely, very consistent in, because there've been a couple of times where I might have, pushed my deadline or, changed things up. But I've been consistent with this podcast. I started this podcast. Next week will be the 2-year anniversary. Yep, 2 years. Um, I started this podcast 2 years ago, and I've been consistent with it, even with life ups and downs. Um, there've been a couple of times where it came out on a Thursday instead of a Wednesday. During the holidays, hey, it came out on a Friday. But I've been consistent with that thing. And two things that I have seen from, being consistent and focused. Not saying that that's the only thing that I've been working on, it's not, but it's the thing that I've been most consistent with. And what I've seen as a result of that is it's the thing that has grown the most. And it's the thing that has kept me the most grounded. Because regardless of what was going on with me, I knew that I was going to do that thing. So again, not saying that, you're going to spend a whole year just working on one thing, not saying that you're not going to have other projects, other things going on in the background, but focus in on a thing. Pick something that you really want to see grow and pour into that and allow it the space that it needs, the time that it needs, the attention that it needs to grow, because sometimes we have the ability, we have the calling, we have the talent for something to grow, but we're not giving it its due time and attention. And we're trying to grow everything at the same time. And our attention then becomes divided, and things are happening, but nothing is really growing. So that is my advice to you, is to pick a thing and water it and nurture it and let it begin to grow and let it continue to grow. And then you can focus on whatever that next thing is. Um, but make sure you are, getting the full potential out of the thing so that you can see the fruit. Because sometimes we're, people say don't dig up the seed. Sometimes we're not digging up the seed, but planting on top of, we're planting other seeds on top of that seed and not giving it its ability to truly, truly grow. So pick a thing, focus on it, let's say focus on it at least for the next, 30 days, or really most things take at least 3 months for you to start seeing some progress. But pick a thing. What of all the goals that you set, or all the New Year's resolutions that you set, what's the one that matters the most to you? Pick that up and give it its due attention. Focus on that thing. Get that thing going. Get that thing some traction. And then as you're seeing success with that thing, then you can start pulling in some of the other things that you want to see grow and develop. And before you know, you look up and you have a full garden of things that you've nurtured, that you have allowed to grow. But, understand Again, it takes time, it takes dedication, it takes, your focus. Because again, what happens, we try to do 20 things all at once, and then when we look up, we're just overwhelmed and none of the things are flourishing the way that we want and we get frustrated. And again, it's not necessarily because you weren't good at that thing. It's not because it wasn't for you. It's just because you put too much of a load on yourself all at one time. Get, it's even like if you think about when you're in school, school is set up in a way that it's like, what you're learning in the first quarter is going to be what you build upon in the fourth quarter. So take that same approach to your life. Look at the things that you need to, pick that thing that you really want to see grow and start there, and then continue to build, continue to grow from there. Um, and just other New Year's tips, things that I typically do at the New Year. One is, a reflection on the previous year and what things went well, what things I would like to change, what things do I need to carry on into the new year. Your word of the year. So, what's your word going to be this year? I think in the last few years, I've done joy, I've done strategic, intentional. This year, my word's going to be faithful, and I'll come back and expound on that a little bit more because that's a whole topic in and of itself. But what's your word? What is your word that is going to guide your year? Are you a vision boarder? Have you done your vision board? Have you sat down and thought about what you want to get out of this year? What is the overall picture? What you want that to look like? Have I know a lot of sometimes people set New Year's resolutions and goals for their businesses. Have you made sure that those are in alignment with what you view as your success story? Because a lot of times, the other reason why we don't get to see those goals manifested is because they're not in alignment. We made goals, but we didn't look at where we're trying to go and do these things match each other. So, some things to think about in the new year. But again, happy new year. And I hope that you have all the success, and I hope that you are prospering in this new year and have, those things that matter most to you manifest in your life. Um, I can't leave, this discussion without a shameless plug for the success journal. Um, it just comes up so often. Like every time that I talk to a client, it comes up because we go into that self-doubt mode, and we go into, sometimes maybe when you're reflecting on a year, well, I didn't do enough, or you're watching other people post their reflections and you're making comparisons and all these other things that happen. But ultimately, we need to be locked into the success that is happening in our lives. And we need to make sure that we are aware of it, that we are reflecting on those successes, that we are um, documenting them. That's the whole point of the journal, because in those moments where we feel otherwise, we have something to look back to. So it's the new year. Get a success journal so you can start off the year documenting those successes. And honestly, you might need a new one by June. By mid-year, you may need a new one because now you're focused on success and daily successes, that your mind has shifted away from that feeling of self-doubt, that feeling of not being good enough, or not not seeing the progress. Force yourself to see the progress. So that's what I have for you guys this week. Next week's episode is going to be the second anniversary episode, and we are bringing back the guest experts for a wonderful panel discussion. So it just, be prepared to get some beautiful perspective from all of these brilliant ladies. I did a similar setup for the 1 year anniversary, and I mean, it was just a phenomenal discussion. I enjoyed it just being a part of the discussion. So I know you guys are going to totally enjoy it. And, um, new set of experts, but that same, that same feel of getting to know a little bit deeper into their personal lives and what's going on with them. Because I think, we see them as experts, but we also have to see them as people, and they are people just like us. And they're just people that are pushing forward every day toward their dreams and their passion. So look out for that next week. And I can't wait to share it with you. So have a wonderful rest of your day. Again, happy new year, happy new month, happy my birthday month. Yes, it is my birthday month. Um, and you know, just hoping that you are experiencing happiness and joy. And if you're not there yet, hoping that you are on a path to get there. So see you next week. Thank you for listening to the Profits in Pajamas podcast. I hope you got some great tips to start working with ease. Want to stay connected? Follow me at Your Workflow on Instagram. For more information about building your luxury brand, register for my upcoming luxury brand workshop at CoachDanniD.com.